decided to walk to Murphy's today. It's Tuesday early afternoon, and yeah, another beautiful day here. Actually very cold morning. It's so cold that actually the Cairns Post is saying that the minimum temperature is the same as in Sydney. It's about 15 degrees, which feels pretty cold up here. I have my wind cheater on, so that's something I haven't had to do very often, only a few times in the year so far. So it's surprising because it's actually mid-July, and normally June would be colder, but it's top temperature about 23 today, which is reasonably cool. It's usually been around 25, 26 degrees tops. But yeah, superb day. Nice day for a walk. And it's a fair hike. It's a couple of k's up to Murphy's, and what I'll do is I'll get the bus down, so I'll just take it one way, and invariably I'll get the bus that stops off at the supermarket, which elongates the trip. That just seems to always happen. Also, I could do a stop off at Spotlight, get some curtains. I really need some main curtains and for the lounge. Here's the GP I normally go to. Very convenient, very close to here. It's also got the X-ray place next door, so not that I've ever used that. But yeah, it's only a block away, so it's bloody convenient. But most people tend to drive. So yeah, I'm embarking on this reasonable walk. I need the exercise. Sorry, the wind's kicking up again. There's a little pissy canal that goes along there. It's actually right though, and you can ride a bike along it. And if I ever got my electric scooter out again, I could take that down there, I guess. But well, one of these days I might use it. But I'm running out of time before my trip. So, but I should take it out for a couple of runs. And the weather at the moment is absolutely superb. Although it's good when it's really stinking hot to have an electric scooter. That's when you really don't want to be walking around the streets. So I don't know, I just haven't bothered using it because I know it's such a hassle to drag it back up 2 flights of stairs. So it's been a bit of a white elephant. A bit of a shame. But just coming up to Gregory Street here. That's the next street along. I'm walking along Mulgrave Road, main road, and I looked at a place. It's a gated community down the end of Gregory Street, and that's has quite a number of flats in there that are either rented or for sale. I tried to get a rental when I was still renting, but I missed out on the place. Mainly I think because I wanted a 6-month lease as opposed to a 12-month lease. So, you know, if you own the place, you're always going to prioritise going for 12 months. So, yeah, that's the entrance down there, I think. That's it, there are the gates. So, yeah, it's quite nice. But it's a little further away from where I'm living, so pros and cons. And I think the body corporate, of course, would have been much higher. And that's something to always take into account. So, yeah, I think walking just up here is quite good, you know, because it's probably the equivalent of a pretty good walk into town and back, maybe a bit further. It's not the most scenic walk, but the exercise is good, and like I say, it's a perfect day for it. And yeah, having a lot of trouble with my second computer, the old computer I brought up from Melbourne. That seems to be basically on its last legs. I don't know, because I've actually tried to add, I loaded up the new Windows on top of Vista. Was it Vista or XP? Sorry, XP I think it was. A while back. It was Windows 10 is on it now, and yeah, that's right. I think I went from XP or something to 10, so it's quite a jump, and it could be causing problems with it because it's really acting erratically now. Good thing I bought that other computer, because my second computer I think is on its last legs, and my laptop I bought in Chiang Mai is pretty well died. I can't get that operating either. I guess, you know, computers only last for so long. Hope my laptop lasts the distance for the next trip. It's getting a little long in the 2x2 because I use it constantly as my main computer, so I've got to worry about that sort of thing. But yes, it's not good. I'm trying to transfer some movie files and stuff across from there, and before the whole thing just dies on me. But that's been a bit of a drama itself. So yeah, I've pretty well written it off. But yeah, it's technology for you. It doesn't last forever. So yeah, I didn't actually have a drop to drink last night, but today I'm going to buy the Windsor gin at Murphy's. I might also get myself some Irish whiskey. I haven't had any for ages, so just for a change. So I might just buy some spirits. But always check out to see whether there's some beer on special, some good 6-pack specials, especially for members. The discounts are something like 40% on some of those 6-packs, so it's quite substantial. And I think Woolworths work on the same system, that they give you these big discounts on the liquor so they can collect data. Data is so important these days. So yeah, I'm going to try different booze and see if it doesn't have the same effect as the red. It could be the cab sab that's knocking me about, because I'm really not drinking that much of it. I'm having half a litre a night, which is not super excessive. A couple of glasses, 2 to 3 glasses shouldn't, have you feeling a little seedy the next day. It's crazy. So we'll see. I'll have some G&Ts. I've got a couple of bottles of Indian tonic water I bought a while back, a few weeks back, and it's been sitting in the fridge, and I'll get around to using that. That's how I usually drink it, with ice. Yeah, it's quite a pleasant walk on a cool day. I'm just passing by Cazaly's Stadium now, and not far to go. There's the hills in the background, quite nice, lovely backdrop. And I was actually listening to an interview on 2GB yesterday. Alan Jones is back from his 2-week break, and he was talking to Josh Frydenberg, the treasurer, and he was having a go at him over the deeming rates that they've kept up high, or that they've kept them. They've assumed that they're much higher than they actually are. So pensioners are being diddled their entitlements if they've got a certain amount in the bank, and they're assumed to be getting a higher interest rate than actually is the case if they've just got it in a bulk standard savings account, which is dumb, but people do it. So it's a bit unfair to basically penalise people like that for their ineptitude with handling their finances. And he was interviewing Frydenberg when he was in the Melbourne airport, I think. So, and he was a bit sleep deprived for some reason, and that's the thing. He called him by the wrong name. I think he called him Paul at the end of the interview rather than Alan. So he got the wrong name of the interviewer. So that wasn't a good look. But he just came across as being incredibly evasive. He's just like most other ministers in the Morrison ministry at the moment. It just worries me that their believability is really low, in my opinion anyway. And I know it's not just my opinion, my opinion is mirrored by a lot of people who have been unimpressed with the way they're acting. They're just put off making vital decisions. Like, I think our power grid is in for a real kick in the arse with that gas. There's a couple of gas power stations in for repair, and if they don't get repaired and in operation before summer, it could be very ugly. So things are not looking great, because there's no wiggle room left in the grid. And unfortunately, Jones didn't actually get into that part of the. He was talking mainly about the deeming rates. He couldn't get a straight word out of Frydenberg regarding those. He kept trying to weasel his way out of it, and it just didn't sound good. It's just, you can tell when a politician's just basically covering their arse and spinning, and unfortunately there's a lot of that happening in the Liberal ministry at this stage, in my opinion. So I think they got in power basically because people are so scared of a Labor victory, not because people fell in love with the Liberals. So you've got to assume that there's not a great deal of a bounce there for the Liberal Party after winning that election. Good for Morrison personally, but the only reason people basically shunned Labor was proverbial if they got in, because they worried about taxes and other things. And Shorten just was just pathetic in his campaign. It was just abysmal, and he wouldn't even go on 2GB. Not once would he actually go on the opposition radio station, and that's the sort of same thing that Jeff Kennett did. I think actually Jeff Kennett still went on the ABC when he lost that state election that he shouldn't have lost. But he was very arrogant, and that's the same with Shorten, very arrogant, and Australians don't like it, and Queenslanders in particular don't like it, and that's why there's such a huge backlash up here. The Liberals have got nothing to crow about. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.